All right, so basically we do Leetcode, and once we discuss the solution, we simply right here, you pick whatever language makes you happy, and you use that to solve the issue, right? You solve the problem. Now, right? So after that, I think we do have once in a while we do have people who have something to demo, right? New features, something they are working on, right? So, that they want to like demo, and we give that person a chance. Now, to get started, if today is your first time, please
Can I raise my hand? Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a comment. So, like, there's this thing I saw. It's called Leethub. So where you can directly write your code from. Is everybody hearing me? Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah. So where you can just directly. It's a Chrome extension. You can just connect it to a repo, write on Leetcode, and it's saved to a repo. So you have like a repo where everything is stored. Like I felt it's nice. It's nice instead of after you're done, you lose the code. So I just said let me drop in the comments.
I mean, it's a future, right? Please share it, put it in the ear, or put it in the WhatsApp group. That would be nice. Right. So basically, after you finish writing your code, it's going to basically sync it to a GitHub repo. Now, and also, you don't really lose your code if you have an account. After you solve your Leetcode, if you go to your submission, right, you can say I've already done this question before. It's always like 2021, 2022. Well, today. Anyway, so you still have the submission, but that's a very good option. Please share it in the WhatsApp group or share it here so that folks that are interested can look at it. But a basic requirement for the class is have a Leetcode account. And the reason why we use Leetcode is because sometimes you think your solution is right, but your solution does not put all the edge cases into consideration. So that's why we use things like Leetcode, and maybe Akaran. I don't know. I don't know about that, but Leetcode seems to be the primary thing right now. All right. So folks, yeah. Now, as usual, if today is your first time in the meeting, right, please just give us, you don't have to mention your name, right? Privacy thing. You don't have to mention your name. Just tell us, hey, today is my first day, and this is a stack that I work with. Let's say you're already working with, I work with Python, I work with like Java, I work with C#, I work with PHP, right? This is a stack that I work on. And I work on the front end, back end. I'm a UX designer, or you can even say I'm just coming into the field, right? So if anyone here, if today is your first day, please kindly unmute yourself and just give us like that quick, just a little bit of information.
Hi, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. So today is my first day here. My first time here. Even though I've joined the group for a very long time, but I've been so busy that sometimes I miss the meeting. So today I decided to join, and I'm really happy being here. So I've worked on JavaScript, even though I'm not yet a pro, still learning anyway. And I've worked on front end, so I can make use of Bootstrap. And I love JavaScript. Yeah, I love JavaScript language. And also I also know about bash scripting, and also have idea on C language. Yeah, also have basic idea on C language. So I believe that as I don't join this team like this, because when I check the message, I was going through all the messages in the group that I missed, because any group I join, I normally check the message that I've missed. So I checked and I can see that there are bosses in this group. So I'm ready to learn from you guys.
I know, right? Me too. I want to learn. Oh, I want to learn. Oh, yeah, we have a lot of bosses in this group. Oh, right. All right. Welcome. So I really appreciate you being here. Yeah. Thanks for that. Like that quick information. All right. Can someone else unmute themselves and tell us if I know we have a couple of it's the first time joining the meeting. Yeah, Sam, please go ahead and unmute.
Hello, Tim. I'm Sam. I'm a solutions architect, several years ahead, handling Java and Python. So I didn't know that the group was predominantly Nigerian, but I love to be with the team. Yeah, I'm mostly doing code reviews in Java and Python.
Oh, nice, nice. Solution architect, Java, Python. Guys, you know that if you have any, Java question, you know who to reach out to. Now, welcome to the group. Welcome to the group. All right. So, thing very course. All right. So, Grace, yeah, please go ahead and just, give us a quick introduction about yourself.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi, Grace.
Yeah, yeah. This is my first time here. I've been on the group chat for a while though. I write Java, C Sharp, JavaScript. I do React as well. What else? I think that's all about me. I'm glad to be here. Yeah.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, right? So Grace, are you currently like, professional in the field, or you're just, trying to, break into the field?
I would say, well, I'm still quite new. I have just about over a year experience. I currently work with Sebit, a payment gateway.
Nice, nice. Welcome, Grace. Welcome. Thank you very much. And we are going to take one more person. Okay, Abubakar. Right.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm Abubakar. I'm a JavaScript software engineer. I use Node.js and React to build my apps, and I have like 1 year of working experience, and I found this group on Meetup, and I joined, and this is my first time attending this call. So I'm very happy to be here, and I look forward to learn a lot from the community.
Hey, Abubakar. So welcome to the group. Thanks for that, that introduction. And well, one more person. Let's just one more person. Ken. Ken, I see you have your hand raised. So yeah, let's take one more.
Hi everyone. My name is Ken from Kenya. I've been working as a PHP developer predominantly. I do a lot of Java too, and Python. Yeah, I have like 3 to 4 years of experience. Yeah.
Welcome to the group, right? So, hi, Mr. Ken, excuse me. Welcome to the group. Thank you for that, the introduction. And folks, you've listened to these folks, some have, number of experience in the field. So if you have questions, the group is, my aim is for the group to be diverse, right? So that you can reach out, you can have like resources, right, at your disposal anytime that you need it. That's the goal of these, the team. All right, let's get started today. The reason why we are here, right, the reason for the season, all right, is to do Leetcode, folks, right? Now, I know we all have different languages, background, sometimes in a contract, I can see someone from Kenya, Nigeria. But one thing that unites us is that your interviewer does not care. It doesn't care where you're from, whether you write PHP or something. They just want to assess you. If your skill sets, they want to assess you. And a very good way that they do that is, things like this coding challenge. They use this coding challenge, because they have a large number of applicants, right? So they use this coding challenge to filter, immediately, like, cut down the number of qualified folks. That is why we do this. So today we are going to talk about a medium Leetcode question. It says the group the people given the group size they belong to. It's a medium level question. So in Leetcode, we have easy, we have medium, we have hard. So this is like the mid-level. It says there are n people that are split into unknown number of groups. So we have like, let me see. I think I have to explain this. I think, okay. All right, so I'm going to explain this. It says there are n people that are split. So we have n people, sorry for my painting, but yeah, painting. We have n people that are split into groups. So actually, let me reload this thing. So we have n people, right? N number of people in this n that are split into some unknown number of groups. So basically they were split into groups that we don't know, split into groups, right? Now it says for each person is labeled with a unique ID from I to what? To n minus 1. So basically each person is going to be, we have this n group, each person ID is what? 0, 1, 2, 3, all the way to n minus 1. All right. It says you are given an integer array group sizes, right? An integer array group sizes, right? So let's say this is the integer array. It's called group sizes, right? It's called group sizes. Where size I, so this size I, let's say I is the index. Where size I, let's say the value given here is X. Where size I is the size of the group that I is in. So this X represents the size of the group that this person at index 0, let's say this is Y, this one represents the size of the group that this person at index 1 belongs to. Ha, interesting. All right, so please follow along. Where size I is the size of the group that person I is in. For example, if group size 1 equals 3. So if this place were to be 3, right? So before we're using Y, if this place were to be 3, then 1, the user 1 belongs to a group of size 3, right? So this user 1 belongs to a group of size 3. That means the group that the person belongs to contains three people. That means in this entire group sizes, this person is part of the group that has just 3 people. All right. Don't let it confuse you. Don't worry, we're going to understand it. It says that return a list of groups such that each person I is in a group of group size I. Rubbish. Please follow along. The question can get confusing. It says each person should appear in exactly one group, and every person must be in a group. That means if you are here, if you're a person on here, you have to belong to a group. Return any of them. It is guaranteed that there will be at least one valid solution for the given input. This is not an everyday question. This is a very interesting, technical question. Now, one thing is that all these jargons, right? You have to interpret it, but what even makes more sense are the examples. Let's look at the example. It says group size is 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Well, all these 3. Okay, yeah. Can you clean that, Daniel? You wrote on the screen. Yeah, Daniel, you're writing on the screen. I think I have to disable that option. I have to disable that option, but it's distracting, probably distracting others. All right, I'm probably going to do that after the call. Yeah, so can you clean it? You're writing on the screen. All right. I wish I could. I think he has to clean it. All right, let's use an example. It said group sizes. These are the group sizes that it gave to us. Now, they now said the solution is this. How did they arrive in the solution? Let me explain to you. How many 3 do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 3. So just to make sure some people understand. So basically, this is the group size that they gave to us. They gave us this group size. They gave us this group size. They said 3, 3, 3, 3. I think 1 more 3, then 1, 3, then 3. So that means that this is the group size. Think of it as an array, right? And each person is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5, index 6, right? They then told us the solution is that to group them, this is going to be our solution. How did they come up with this solution? Let's look at it. So our job is to group these people according to their group size, right? So let's go ahead and do that. So it says the index 0 belongs to a group size that is 3. So let's form a group size of 3 people. Index 0, right, is going to fall into a group size of 3 people. So we are going to have, so just watch you. So we are going to have, look at this. Well, is 0 belongs to a group size of 3. This one is not full yet. 1 also belongs to a group size of 3. 2 also belongs to a group size of 3. So this group size is 4. Again, they now told us that index 3 also belongs to a group size of 3. So we make another group size of 3. Index 3 belongs to a group size of 3. Index 4 belongs to a group size of 3. Index 5 belongs to a group size of 1. So in the index 5 cannot fall in here because this particular group is for those that have group size of 3. So index 5 is going to be the only one here because it belongs to a group size of 1. And finally, they told us that index 6 belongs to a group size of 3. So there's still space here. What do? We simply put it here. Right? I believe that is their result. That is how they got this their result. So your final answer is going to be the list, a list that contains this, this, and this. All right. So let me explain the final. For those that understand it, you can start working on it right now. But for those who are still like very like uncertain about support, I can explain with the second one too. It's 2 1 3 3 3 2. Oops. It's 2 1 3 3 then 3 2. 3 2. All right. So what you do is, how many index do we have? Index 0 1 2 3 4 5. Now,
please, Tunde.
Yeah.
Please divide your screen into 2, like Windows right, Windows left.
You want me to divide my screen?
Yes, like take the tab, separate the tab for the right side and the tab for the work. That's if it's possible.
So, you want me to like to show this part, right?
Yes, and that tab now, don't drag it out. Yes, you can drag one of the tabs.
All right. So, to be honest, I can drag it out, but I'm not sharing my entire screen. I'm just sharing that window. So let me do something just to make it easier for folks to be able to see. I'm not sure if I have to share my entire desktop for that because what you're looking at is just a window. I think I have to look into how to properly share these things. New share. Now you can see my entire desktop. Can you see my desktop? All right, drag this out. I want to drag this out.
Yes.
Right.
Just press Windows right.
It's a Mac, no Windows.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. All right, folks. Hopefully this helps, right? All right. So we have try to this guy. You don't need it. Let me just expand. What do I do with this guy? Okay. All right, folks. I think we can still make this work. So as you can see here, let me try to expand this screen. All right. So as you can see here, right? Now let's group them. It says index 0. This guy belongs to a group size of 2. right? So we form a group size of 2. 0 will be one of them. They said index 1 belongs to a group size of 1. So 1 is just going to be by itself. Index 2 belongs to a group size of 3. All right, let's see. So 2 is going to be here. Index 3 belongs to a group size of 3. So 3 is also going to fall here. Index 4 belongs to a group size of what? 3. Index 5 belongs to a group size of 2. And our solution is going to be a list of lists that contains these sizes. All right, folks. Any question about what we are supposed to look at?
Yeah. Sorry. So for the output, there's a 0 and 5. So I'm confused.
For the
That's
output,
why you have 0. Yeah, why you have 0 and 2.
why have 0 and 2? Right?
You're supposed to put 5 there.
Oh, sorry, that's confusing. Yeah, I made a mistake. Thanks for that. I call out. Right, this is supposed to be 5, right? Index 5 belongs to 2. Oh, yeah, I mixed them up. So 5 is supposed to be there. But index 3 belongs to 2. It belongs to 3. I put it in a size of 3. Index 3 belongs to a group of 3. I put this here. Index 4 belongs to a group of 3. So 4 falls here. Index 5 belongs to a group size of 2, right? I put then the 5 is supposed to be here. Thanks for that call out. Index 1 belongs to what? A group size of 1. So 1 is going to be here. Index 0 belongs to a group size of 2. That is why we have 0 here. All right, time to convert this into algorithm. Now, pay attention to the constraint. The constraint is not really an issue here. It's the group size length is always going to be n. In is always going to be between 1 and 500. Then group size of I, right? That means a group size of I, that means you're talking about these numbers here, is always going to be between 1 and n. All right. All right, folks. I've solved this before, so I know what to do, but and please pick your language wisely, because your language, the language you pick might decide whether gloom or doom. If you go and pick Rust, well, you're on your own. No. Or you go beyond and pick some language that doesn't support certain objects. Well, we'll leave you on the call. We will go home. All right. So, folks, for those that are, just doing this for the first time, just go to Leetcode, pick whatever language that makes you happy. For example, if you want to write this in C, you see? If you want to write this in C, you want to write it in C#, just select it. And once you're done, I always advise you, click on run code. Run code. If it works, if it gives you green, that means it's right. Now, but that doesn't mean your solution is correct here. You have to click on submit. Submit is the one that runs all the test cases and verify your solution.
Hi, did you
Hi.
plan to say something?
No.
Okay, because I have questions. I
Sure.
wanted to know when is the right time to ask questions.
No, please go ahead and ask questions. Sorry about that.
Okay, no problem. Can you move your question to the right? The question tab to the right.
Sure.
Yeah. So I understand like the beginning parts where you're trying to do like an explanation. But when you go to like the examples, you're just saying index this belongs to this, index this belongs to this. How are you making that like how are you knowing that that's what it is? I can see sentences, but they're quite long.
Okay, so how am I determining this index and where they belong to?
When you say index, something belongs to this, how did you read that line to come about that statement?
Thank you very much for that question, right? So I can go over this again. So I have so let's use this. This one doesn't give you that much. Let's use this. I like this example. It's more diverse. So it's 2, says 2, 1, I think 3, 3, 3, 2. This is an array. Folks, for the rest of the folks, please start solving, right? This is an array. Now, one thing is that this array does have this array has indexes, right? So in programming language, an array has index, right? Index simply means like ID, right? ID, and the index always start with 0. So the first one always has an ID of 0, right? The second, we have an ID of 1. The third one, we have an ID of 2. The next one, 2 plus 1, 3 plus 1, 4 plus 1, you see? So, right, this is their index, right? Their ID in the array. Now, how did I come up with the grouping? Now, but this itself is the number. This one represents which group that they fall in. Group. This one represents the group that you belong to. This one represents yourself. The number that, like, it represents the number that are falling into the group, right? So 0 fall into a group of size 2. So that means I need to create size 2. 0 falls into a size of 2. So 0, that means 0 is going to fall into one of here, right? 1 fall into a size of 1. So I need to create a size of 1 and put 1 inside, because that's going to be the number there. 2 falls into a size of 3. Since there is no 3 here, I need to make a size of 3. 1, 3. So which 2 is going to be one of them? 3 also fall into size of 3. Since I already have a size of 3, I just need to put 3 here. 4 falls into a size of 3. Since I still have a space in size of 3, I can put 4 here. And now say 5 falls into what? Size of 2, right? So which one is, this is 2, right? So I will now put 5 here since there's still space for. So then my final answer is going to be this.
Interesting. Okay, so the size of something is the indexes, is the numbers, not indexes, the numbers.
Right?
What did you say?
Oh no, I didn't say anything. So any other question?
I get it now. Thanks. I didn't know you had the numbers above were the ones that you were using for the sizes.
All right, folks. All right.
Just scroll up to the question so that I can screenshot.
Oh.
All right, thank you. All right, thank you. I'm done. All right, thank you.
Pleasure. All right. So please. So is anyone working on this right now on Leetcode? Or somebody are like, I'm done. All these questions, all these tough questions you guys are asking. I just want to do my JavaScript and go home.
I'm checking it out. Sorry, I'm checking it out.
Okay.
I'm checking it out, sir. But I don't know. Is it only me that thinks it looks like a graph question? Am I?
Right. So there are different ways to solve it. You can actually use the dictionary to solve it. Can you use a dictionary to solve it? Remember, it's all about grouping.
Can I ask it? Hello?
Hello, go ahead.
Yeah, so my question is that what if you just turned it into a graph directly? Like, what's the disadvantage of that? I'm looking because like it looks like a graph now. Like when you look at it, like there's a way you can inverse a graph. Like this just like convert a list into a graph. That's what it seems to me to look like. So
if you are, I mean, if you have a way, right, to basically, construct this into a graph and is it like, transverse the graph, right? Trust me, go ahead and use it, right? The interviewer shouldn't care about what, method I use to solve it, as long as based on what you think, you're able to like achieve the final aim, which is to prove them, right? So if graph looks like a feasible solution, yeah, go ahead and use that, right? Whichever approach. So we have a lot. If you look at a discussion board here, we have a lot of routes that you can use, right? Lot of ways to solve it, right? In fact, my solution wasn't even the most efficient because I didn't even make attempt to be efficient, right? But if graph is the best solution, go ahead and use graph, please. Right. And for those that are just like, what the hell is this? Please, if this is your first time and you're feeling lost about this, well, the goal of this meeting is not to turn you to a Leetcode guru, because what we do here will not turn you to Leetcode guru. I'm sorry, it will not. It's not enough, right? Most of this stuff, right, you probably have to practice after some time to get really good at it. It's a skill. It's a skill set that comes with practice, right? So if this is your first time seeing this and you like, oh, no, I don't know what they do yet. I'm gonna pack my bag and leave, right? You still have to deal with this. You will still have to deal with Leetcode once, if you really want to like, be in the right places in this industry, you have to deal with Leetcode at least once your career. So it's a good skill set to have, right? It's a good skill set to have. But at the end of this, we are going to have someone that will demo a project that they're working on also. So you can also wait for that. I like to use easy question in this class because the easy question is it makes people comfortable. To be force balls. I like to use easy question. I mean, easy question is good for everybody. For those that just come in, right?
So you want to are you changing the question now?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not changing the question. Right. I'll be mixing them. Next time, I'll pick an easy question, just to give people a chance. But I mean, I've done like a couple of easy questions like past couple of meetings. So as I picked the medium level question today.
No problem. I get you.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wanted to ask a question.
Right.
Yeah, so it's still pertaining to the whole graph solution that is in my head. And the graph solution might not work because of you see some groups with the same group size. I think in the first example they explained that.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you see like same group size, right? For example,
Yeah, the same group size. I think that will even mess up your logic in your head too.
you'd be surprised. You might be able to make it work. What if, right? So probably like starting from next class, I'll start posting a question a day before, right? I'll start posting the question a day before, just to make it easier on folks. Yeah, I'll start posting the question a day before.
Okay, I'm Chief. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, so like my first attempt though, what the first thing that came to my head, like let me explain it so that those that are listening can get it. Like that's why my question is about the group size. My first attempt is okay, fine. You're going to basically run through it. Like you just run through the array. You have maybe something like a count sort, mechanism that picks, okay, one is here. We've seen one how many times? 3 times with the index. You store it. Is everybody following me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I'm listening. Yeah.
Yeah, so you like store it in a hash map or something with the new values that you've seen. But then you say, okay, let me pick an example. I don't want to, I'm using a sheet of paper here to on it. And my battery will soon die. Can you hear me? And my battery will soon die.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
So like my attempt is, okay, let's say we have an array from the second question, not from the first question. From the second question, the first element is 2, the second element is 1. For the second example, 3, 3. Are you with me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
3, 3, 3, 2. So when I run through it, I pick, let's say 2. I store 2 in my hash map. I say 2. I've seen only 1, 2 at index 0. I store index 0. Okay. I go to 1. I've seen only 1, 1. So I store index. Can you hear me? I store index 1 and the value for I store the value and the indexes. I've seen it in so far. So I see 3 at index 2, 3 at index 4, 3 at index 5, and I store it on my hash map again. So I have a key of 3, and the values there is 2, 3, and 4. And for the last one there, I think I'm mixing up the index already. For the last one, 2, I store it and add it to the original 2 I saw. So now we have 0 and 5. So eventually our hash map is going to look like, let's say, our hash map is going to have something like 1, 2, and 3. Then the key of 1 is going to store, let me see. Okay, the key of 2 is just going to store 0, 5. Key of 2 is going to store 0, 5, like a graph.
Right.
Key of 2 is going to store 2, 4, 5. And key of 1 is going to store 1. So that's just, and if I'm not missing any parameter here, our distance is O of n. Our distance is O of n, our speed is O of n, our time is O of n. But the only thing is that when you take it to the second example, we will have a very big, like because of the repeating trees. So instead of it to like split into a separate group, it has like a very big tree. Like you understand what I mean there? Am I making sense?
Yeah, like you're going to have like more than one grouping.
Yeah, like grouping, just group them together according to their keys. But I think I'm missing something.
Yeah, that's actually you're just thinking about this out loud. One thing is implement. Don't start looking at get a piece of paper, right, and sketch your this thing, your pseudocode out.
Yeah.
Sketch your pseudocode out and see what you get. Right. See, to give people ideas, to give folks ideas, right? Look at this. Think of these two. And if you have multiple 3, think of this. Multiple 3. Now 3, let's multiple 3s. Oh, this is 2, rather. Made a mistake. Let me just start from here. If you have something like this, I can look at the solution here. Let's look at the solution. The solution. Their solution. The first one says index size 1 belongs to. So we have what? 5 in here. And size 3. We have what? We have 1. We have a 0, 1, 2, and we have 3, 4, 6. An index in that's, I think that, yeah, that's it. For the second one, for the second example, we have 1 points, of course, 1, and 2 points, 2, 0, 5, 2, and 3 points, 2, 2, 3, 4. If you can't solve it, folks, if you can't solve it immediately, the most, what we are looking for is attempts, right? We can always solve it, finish the whole thing after today's class. The goal of this session is not so that I can solve it different day on the same day, like know the question today and like solve it in like 30 minutes. That would be very tough. This is your first time getting, especially doing Leetcode.
Hello, Tunde.
Hello?
All right. This is C#, Abi.
C#. Oh, that's what I picked. Yeah, you can pick whatever language you want to use.
Okay, no problem, no problem. I would have addressed it in Java because I saw C# there, so I just checked something out. So
Okay.
you said something about dictionaries, Abi?
Map. Yeah, map.
Okay. So all I did here was I just mapped the indexes to the numbers. Like this one that I used here. Let me see the question again. Yeah, okay. Okay, where's the second one?
The question.
I'm seeing it now.
Okay.
All right. So I mapped index 0 to 2.
Okay.
Then index 1 to 1, index 3 to 2, index 3 to 4, the third index 3 to 5, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 2 to 5. Then I use line writer.
You probably have to probably share the solution, right? When you click on run code, does it pass?
Okay, wait, let me get back to you. Let me try it now.
Once you run the run code, if it passes, then you onto something. Then to make sure you're actually correct, click on submit.
Okay, let me try it now.
So once you have the solution, you can share it on the WhatsApp group. And also, so if anyone has a solution, we can share it. Well, let me share my solution. My history, just I use this my lovely friend called Python. It's not the best, but it works. Oh, someone posted a solution. Good, good, good. All right, Kenny posted a solution. Copy. All right, let's go give Kenny's solution a test. I believe this man. I'll be using all these Java people. You guys make me look like I don't. Oh, boom. Someone has a solution. All right, let's submit it. Accepted. Look at the runtime, 6 milliseconds. All right, so someone has a solution. Again, the solution, the green check. All right, let me also share my. That's why people use compiled languages. Look at all these interpreted languages. Well, my algorithm is probably shit, so that doesn't help. Algorithm is probably shitty too. But just because you are trying to fast doesn't mean you're going to pick language that you don't know. Because nobody will be able to help you when the interviewer is telling you you didn't get a job. I had an interview recently with someone and they asked the person a very simple question. Like it was, very, very simple, question. This guy was telling us a story of why he wanted to use Go. Do you want to solve the question you want to use Go? It was like, oh, man, I'm learning Go. I really want to use Go. Okay, use Go. He said, no, I'm still learning. Then Python. Okay, he said, I'm going to use Python. Then we gave him like we use CodaPad. We gave him the CodaPad. Oh yeah, use code. Yeah, use Python. Even the Python for loop self became Wala. So please, this is what you're comfortable with. It looks bad on you. Well, you guys can guess what happened to during the so we have this review process. You guys can guess what happened.
Of course, you didn't get the job.
We'll give him Lamba score. Lamba.
So sad.
As but be a chicken or be a goat, just be no one language. Like, trust me. The most important thing during the interview process is impression that impression that you made. Because to be honest, after what the interview that I've done, right? For the applicants anyway, I didn't even remember their code. I'm not gonna lie. And most of those questions I people ask you, a lot of them when they Google the question, they're gonna Google it somewhere. So it's the impression that it gets. That's what they talk about during review. Like when we are talking about when, like, 4 of us or 5 of us are giving feedback to the interviewer or to the recruiter rather. All we just talk about is, oh, we feel that this guy knows what he's talking about. We don't even remember the question. At least me, I don't anyway. I just thought, oh yeah, this guy just. So it's the impression that you leave, So if you're going to solve with JavaScript, better pick your JavaScript and solve it. Don't go and pick up Rust or Erlang or language that you saw that is trending on Twitter and you want to impress the interviewer. Well, you will impress yourself out of application. I'm just making joke about it, but it's very serious. All right, so we have like someone already solved that. All right, folks. So you don't have to solve everything today. You don't have to like solve everything. You can post your solution in the group. I'm going to switch to the person that's supposed to give us a demo today. I'm going to switch to that in a couple of minutes. So we have someone that will give us a demo of their project today. Let me see if he's on call. Abubakar, right? Yeah, Abubakar. Yep.
Hi, sir. I'm here.
All right, yeah. I thought Abubakar was like, this demo is not ready, I'm out.
No, the question is a bit hard, yes, because since last year that I started working seriously on my career, I did not know about coding challenge and competitive programming until when I have started applying for jobs, and it gave me some hard problems for me to solve that I even don't know that exist. So it is what you said recently, that it is just to like reduce the number of applicants and get the most competent ones. So, but since then I've been working on my code algorithms. I made a list of all the things that I've wanted to learn, like starting from arrays, linked list graphs, sorting, and all that stuff. I've been learning them topics and practicing on Leetcode. So just now that I am solving this problem, my battery is down, unfortunately, but I will try and demo my work with my phone if that is allowed.
I mean, yeah, please. It's fine. I understand. Stuff like this come up, right? It's good that you're here. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know that, apart from your project review, some of these companies that do pay, right? That do pay very well, actually do ask you for stuff like this. In fact, I share this page so that you can see about, we have an entire team. In fact, right now, if you want to like really get Leetcode and be able to like, if you can Leetcode very well, you are going to get some places. Although your skill sets, being able to develop application matters a lot, but unfortunately, being able to like solve this coding challenge is how they eliminate candidates, right? It's like you're going to a bar and they say, oh, they're going to a bar to go and do competition or step dancing. You want to go and compete with 100,000. Now, the one requirement before you get into the bar is that you need to wear a red shirt. It's a very simple challenge, but that's how they eliminate people. That's even though you can step, you can dance inside the club. If you're not wearing that red shirt, you're not coming in. So that's how these coding challenges are. So it's good for people to start getting familiar with them and start practicing. The more you practice, the better you get. And hopefully, the more consideration you get from companies. Regarding to your demo, you can do it on the phone if that works, right? As long as you're able to work with both what you do. Are you ready? Can we switch now?
Yes, I'm ready.
All right, folks. So for those that are not finished, please post your solution in the WhatsApp group. Once you solve it, post it there, and I'm going to test it out. If it's working, I'll put a check mark there. All right.
Okay, so what I've been working on is Creda.
Oh, we can't
Trader
see
is
your screen. I mean,
you can't see my screen.
I can't see your. It's just dark.
Okay.
All right, maybe you can reshare.
Okay.
All right, yeah, we can see your screen now. It's coming up.
Okay, you can see I switch now. Can you see?
Yeah, we can see. Yeah.
Okay, so I built the backend of Trader with Node.js and MySQL database using sequelizers to ORM. So I wanted to have a solution that allow users to, buy airtime, pay their bills online using their credit cards or bank account. So, and also they can access loans and save money and even open like a dollar account. So
Mm.
integrated with Flutter Web and Paystack payment gateway to debit the users. And also I have like a ledger in my database that track the user's wallet and stuff like that. So I finished building the products, the back end, sorry, some months ago. And right now I've started developing this is the API. The Postman collection is ready. All the backend is ready for the application. I've tested all through the test cases and I've started developing the admin dashboard. So I have hosted it now on Netlify. Let me log in. Let me try refreshing.
I mean, probably like sharing your screen. Okay.
And this is the default. Yeah. So this is the admin dashboard of the application.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I have the user's profile and update. That is the admin. And you can see other admins, the transactions of the users. And view the user that did the transaction and also view transaction log and do other stuff. So I've been working on this for like 1 month now, the admin dashboard. So when I finish building the dashboard, I will start building the application with Flutter that will allow the users to like access all the services that the application has to offer. So this is the loans for managing the loans that the users applied. And this is the loan category for creating a new loan. That is, the admin will create a new loan that users can access the name of the loan, the maximum amount that the users can get, the interest rate, the duration, and the expiry percentage and other stuff. So this is the settings for adding the API keys. I don't want a situation whereby I will add like, though it is safe adding the API keys in the environment variable in the backend, but I see maybe let me just do it in the admin dashboard so that the admin cannot like go and edit the code to change the API key. So there is support for the users to get if they have some issues when running the application, they can ask for support and chat with the admin directly. So this is pretty much the application that I'm building.
Wow. And you've only been working on this for a month?
No, the complete project is not a month.
Okay. Okay. How long have the project been?
Yes, I have been working on the back end. I've worked on the back end for like 3 months.
Oh,
When
nice.
I finished, then I started working on the front end.
Front end. Ah, nice. This is very, very good, right? For just one person. Well, let me question from the group. Question, comment, anything.
Comment is that I'm just wild. It looks like a very robust project. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is actually very, very good. Now, so do you want to walk us through like the code? Just give us like a tip of like the code. I see that you have a GitHub repo. Just walk us through a couple of the setup.
Okay, let me walk through the API.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the code.
Oh, the API, and the code. I would like to see the code itself.
Okay. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So the code I've used React for building the front end, and for my CSS, that is the styling of the application, I use Material UI. It's very good. I like it. And for the icons in the application, I use Iconify. They are all open source libraries that you can use with React. So this is my code base. I use context to manage the state of the application. I did not use Redux or any Flux, since the new features of hooks. A lot of folks have been using context because it is easier than learning another library like Redux. So when I started learning React, I did not learn Redux. I started learning context because it does almost all the work that Redux can do for you. So this is my components folder. Okay, let me go to the pages. So this is all the pages of the application, like the component, the admin page, the blog, the dashboard, forget password, investment, KYC, login, page 44. All the pages are here. So these pages are just like they have other components that support the page. Like I don't want to like write all the code base in all the code for a page in one page. So
Okay.
I splitted a lot of the sections in the page. Like for example, there is a form. If there is a form, I will create another folder, forget form, and just call it inside the forget, because if I write all the code in one page, it will be harder for me to debug when there is an error. But when I separated the pages, it will show me exactly the page and the line where the error is. And it will be easier for me to navigate and fix all the changes. So This is my styles. Sometimes I use styles, normal. Sorry, pardon, this is my little sister. So I use material UI or I use this styling method to style, but mostly I use material UI because you just call like when you call a button, it will have all the attributes. You just have to write it, and like for example, you don't have to like specify another another like a CSS file where you will call the class in the button like properties, all the padding and all that stuff will be there for me. So that is why I prefer material UI. So let me go through these loans. So as you can see, I started importing everything at the top and then import material UI and other like components at the bottom. So this is the head, like the amount and other stuffs, so that I don't have to specify it directly in the code. So these are all my steps. I use hooks, as you can see. So this is the menu item for the drop down. But for this particular page, I think I did not implement it. I did not connect it with the API because I recently started connecting. I developed like the UI first before connecting the backend and the front end. So I did not link this page particularly with the API. So this page is static because there is a mock users that I create for me to be testing all the UI before I actually link everything with the API. So these are the code base. I did not write the documentation because I've been working on this alone, but I think I will make it public and document everything. So let me go to the API end.
Yeah, this guy is living on the edge. His battery is like 1%. He might be out very soon. All right, so I think we have like,
Yes.
Anybody have any question for him, comment? Right. This is actually very, very good. I was just expecting like one page, and this is like a very solid project. All right. Anybody have any question for him? Anything that you would like to know? No question.
So my question is, your inspiration, is it just to have a side project, or this is like a startup?
Yeah, initially when I was building it, I started building the back end for like for me to strengthen my knowledge. But then I said I wanted to make it as my startup. That is why I even go ahead and learn React and Material UI to build the front end. So, but I have contacted some folks. I told them I wanted them to help me with the application, like the app, for the user to interact with, because when I want to make it into a startup.
Is he out? Is it
Then
done? Oh,
I should be working alone because work with other folks. I'm almost out. I wanted to make it a startup. That is just it.
Oh, interesting. All the best. Wow.
Thank you.
All right, folks. So, Baka, thank you very much for the presentation. Is anybody here I mean, does anyone here want to volunteer for next week demo? If you have something that you're working on, right, that you want to demo, or it doesn't have to be something big, right? Abaka is probably like, making everybody scared, like, oh, your project has to be like really, really, oh, solid this way. It could be anything, right? That you want to demo, that you worked on personally, personal project. It could be like a 1 day work. It doesn't have to be fully complete. That you want to demo for next week. Anyone have anything? All right. All right. Is anyone working on any projects right now that is not there yet? That you just want to like, share? All right, folks. It's fine. If you have anything that you would like to demo, please reach out to me on the WhatsApp group. Hopefully today has been useful to somebody, right? The goal is, if you get inspired by Leetcode, get inspired by what other people are working on, and hopefully work on that, and let's get this money. Any question, comments, discussion before we head out?
So, hello, sir. Are you with me?
Yeah,
Can
I'm
you hear
here.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, so the approach that I have been using to learn Leetcode, because it have been really difficult for me when I started learning algorithms and or data structures, because I'm a JavaScript developer, and I see that the people or folks that use Leetcode, they will say that it's better you use C++ or Python. And I made a list of like the topics that I wanted to learn, and I've been learning them. But I still, when I attempt a problem, and I will see it as a bit difficult. I've been learning it for almost 1 month for now, but it's really been like not easy for me using JavaScript.
I guess anyone wants to like
So
give
is it
advice?
like necessary to switch to C++ or Python too?
Anyone want to reply on that? I know someone like sending their solution in JavaScript. Anybody wants to chip in on that?
I could say something.
Okay, sure.
So yeah. So I don't think that it's necessary to switch. I don't think that when you say it's difficult, it's because the language is difficult to use. I think that it's usually the problem is usually the problems you're trying to solve. And when you are able to break down the problem that you're trying to solve, using the language to solve it is usually very easy. And because you built quite a number of you built experience over time, you don't want to switch to Python just because you want to use it to solve algorithms. I can assure you that getting good at Python is not going to be because you are using it to solve algorithms, but because you probably use it over time to work on projects like you have used JavaScript now. So you don't just want to switch to Python just because of this. I think what you want to do is focus more on understanding how Leetcode works, the patterns, understanding how to interpret the problems. And once you can find out what exactly they want you to do, you'll be able to solve it better. Because at the end of the day, even in your job that you are interviewing for, it's the language you say that you can use the most, that you're likely going to use during the job. So if you are just learning Python for like Leetcode, what about when you get on the job? It won't be Python you use. You have to use the language you already know.
All right.
So that's what I think.
Thank you for that.
All right. Anybody wants to like chip in one or two things out? That's a very good response, right? Basically, what you're comfortable with, right? What you're comfortable with, right? If you switch to C++ and they see you, the most people when they see you like use C++ or something in job, they probably like tailor their line of question to that, right? And also, the company has a stack that you already put on your resume that is C, right? That's why they they are interviewing you. So use something you're comfortable with, that you can ask question, answer question, and I also realize, the more you practice in a specific language, the better you get, right? So just the language that you're comfortable with, as long as it's not some really ridiculous language, right? So the language that you're comfortable with, keep practicing with this, you get better, right? So that when you get in front of interviewers, you'll be able to like stand your ground, right? During questioning. Any feedback, comments before we bounce? All right. No question. All right. Happy Saturday, folks. All right. Please enjoy your Saturday. Go out, have some fun, chill, hang out with friends and family, drink pepper soup. All right.
All right, thank you.
All right. Happy Saturday, my people.
All right.